Tell me a little bit about the biggest deal that you made in your life.
10 millions.
10 millions.
Yes.
Wow.
10 million euro.
10
Euro.
million euros.
Those money create happiness.
I started to invest in crypto in the last months. You
Definitely.
ski, guys?
Absolutely, yeah.
I've
yeah.
never skied in my life.
Hey, it's the time you learn now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the RIV Podcast. Today's guest is Alvise Di Stefano. Alvise has more than 20 years of experience in the legal field. Actually, he has been the founder of one of the most successful companies in Italy regarding non-performing loans and distressed assets. He's also a friend of ours. And he joined also RIV Capital recently as a vice chairman. So he's active now also in the field of finance. So welcome, Alvise.
Thank you.
So, Alvise, you have a law background, right? So you started your career in that space, not in the investment or financial space. So tell us about how it all started. So after your studies, after your graduation and university, where did you start? Where was your starting point for this brilliant career?
Thank you for brilliant.
Absolutely.
To be more precise, 25 years.
25 years.
Yes, because apparently I look very young, but in reality I'm pretty, mature, let's say. I started with the law degree, after the law degree as a lawyer in Milan.
Mhm.
And it was a new, something which I wouldn't prepare to live because I grew up in Bologna, which is a small city. And then I started in Milan in a big firm. Then I moved to another firm, a smaller one, just to try a different environment. And then I decided to go for the finance and banking world.
Let me ask you something. Which years were these? Like 19?
The end, well, 19th, the beginning of the 2000 for
And how was Milan in those periods? Like I know right now Milan has changed a lot, right? In the last years, the people that live there have changed. A lot of foreign people have come, and also the mentality has changed. So how was living and being in Milan in those years? How was your feelings? How was the city?
Well, apparently, when you think about Milan from a lawyer or a person coming from outside, you think about a city where the people grow up in Milan, look at you as a stranger, no? But that's a strange thing. People during the week you work every day, and during the weekend, most of the people living in Milan and grown up in Milan are used to go outside. So you are in a city with people not used to live since they were a child in Milan. So it's a different situation. I had a lot of friends coming from outside, from any part of Italy other than Milan. So it was a strange situation. Milan was full of energy compared to Bologna, and I was so proud of being there. When I used to come back to my town during the weekend to come and see my parents, I was so proud of saying, well, I'm used to work in Milan. I used to work in a big firm. And people in Bologna looked at me with a sort of interest mixed with some, how do you say?
Yeah, I get the vibe.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the same vibe that maybe I experience. Where now living in Dubai, I go back to my hometown, and obviously people say they look at you a bit in a different way. Maybe some people admire you, some people can be jealous, can be. But I get that. I get that vibe, and I think that Milan was a big goal to go live to in those years, obviously, and it was like the center, I think, of in North Italy of what was going on. Like the real business was there.
So everyone was going to Milan.
Yes, in those years, lawyers. The goal for the lawyers
Was to work in Milan.
In Milan. The goal for the bankers was to live and to work in London. That's the two scenarios, no?
Also, Guido had.
I worked in Milan, actually.
You worked in Milan, and
I studied the master's degree in mathematics in Milan. Then I started to work in Milan, but I am coming actually from south of Italy, which for whoever doesn't know Italy is a different world.
Yes, exactly.
Italy is divided in two, if not in three. We can discuss hours on that. So going to Milan means a very big step.
Because probably the closest place to go to was Rome.
Was Rome, yeah.
The more natural
Many people
place.
actually go to Rome. If you go to Milan, that means that you really want to have a career and you want... So when you come back to the south, it's the same thing that you actually just told me, Alvise, about it.
So you started with working in some firms in Milan. And how was for you to start your career there? Like, what were your feelings, your goals in that moment? Was your goal becoming the best lawyer, or were you already thinking of something to do in the financial world? Were you passionate also about finance, or was it your dream at that moment to become a lawyer and to be an affirmed lawyer in Milan?
Well, at the beginning, it was very, very hard, because you have to prove something to everybody, especially because you're coming from outside. You don't know anyone there, so you are new, you are young, but you have a lot of energy. And I perfectly remember the first year was so hard. I was really workaholic. I used to work day and night without, especially sometimes without coming back home.
So you were sleeping at the office?
Yes, not sleeping, but working until 6 or 7. Yeah, sometimes, because you were dealing with important deals. And also that was so exciting, because you can see your deals over the newspapers, the financial newspapers. So, and then after 1 year, something happened to my life. I had a cancer, and I quit for 3 months. Okay. And paradoxically, it was something that I'm really thankful to God. Of course, first of all, because I'm here, which is not the end. Sometimes it's not the usual end, but also because I realized that work is something, is a part of your life. It's not all your life. And so you have to fine-tune your rhythm, your goals. I started to have to dedicate important part of my life to my passions, to the sports, to the piano. I started to go very often to the mountains. I'm really addicted to mountains. In any form you can imagine: skiing, climbing, just going with the bike. And so you understand that there are the work is an important part of your life, but it's not the only thing you can live for.
Yeah.
We can say that this thing that happened to you was a signal, maybe.
Yes.
That I think an important lesson is that we always have to balance work, pleasure, because too much of something is never a good thing. Like too much of partying is bad. Too much of working can be dangerous also sometimes. And when life puts you in this situation, you really appreciate life, and you want to be able to explore and play the piano, as you said, play tennis, go on the mountains, feel to have a good time with yourself, with the passions, and make some good memories that you will remember. I just wanted to step back to the point you said, workaholic, because I think this is something that all the younger guys, maybe younger entrepreneurs or young guys that want to make it in life can experience. I experienced it myself also in my past. When you are starting something that, as you said, you want to prove who you are, not only to the people around you, but you have that feeling that you want to prove it to yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The real capabilities, the real goals you can achieve. I know how you felt, because I know how you feel to stay in the office all night, eating maybe something on your desk just to not faint, and then fall asleep on the on the desk actually. So this is, I think, something that all successful people have to go through in some way. It's something that makes you understand that if you put 100% of your energy, your time, your passion, you can achieve some goals. But as you said, there has to be at a certain point a balance. You found it out in a non maybe pleasurable way, but as you said, we are really happy that the situation didn't go in a bad way. So it's nice also that you can read this sad thing that happened to you in a positive way, and there is always something that if life puts you in front of something, you can always learn from it. Obviously, I think.
Yes, that's true. But on the other side, there is also something that you have to understand. When you start working, you have to the starting point is the hard work.
Yeah.
That's something that you need to understand. There's no free lunch. There's no shortcuts, exactly. And as you said, if you are lucky to experiment something that I have experimented in my life, the hard work and that moment that you realize that together with the hard work there is something else, you can be deemed. You can say to yourself, "I'm very lucky for your life, for your future," and also you can pass this message to the people close to you, to your family, to your close friends, and that's something. I remember that when I used to talk about my cancer, people look at me and said, "You are so happy when you talk about that." That's the reason. That's something that I would like to pass to them, because it was a bad thing, but paradoxically, it was so lucky for me to understand everything.
Because it allowed you to understand something that you were not able to see.
Exactly.
So even if it was a bad event, you had the capability of transforming, of taking from this bad event a lesson that.
Exactly.
And also, I think that it's in this situation, the worst thing you can do is to get depressed, say there's no way out, and be sad about it. Whilst you had the strength to be able to think positive, like
yes. The only thing that I would like to avoid, if I could, rewind my life, is what my parents felt during those days, those months. That's the only thing I don't want to live again, because they suffer so much. And now that I have a son, I have a kid, I can imagine which level of suffering they lived in that period of time. That's the only really bad
thing that you will
yes.
not.
Yes.
Okay, so you said that in this period you took a break from your work. You had some time for yourself, for your passions, for your sport. And how long did this break last? And what came after that? Did something change in your career, or did you change, I don't know, firm? How was it when you came back in the game?
Yes, after a few months, I moved to another firm, which is a natural path for a young lawyer. You stay 1 or 2 years in the first firm, then you move, you try and another firm, another structure. And then I moved to a very, very big UK firm. I spent there 4 years. During that period of time, I had been seconded to London for 1 year in an investment fund, very, very important, and it was a really, really good, exciting experience. My expectation was slightly different, because when you go to London, of course you think about your work, but you think the swing in London, the nightlife. Nothing about that. I work very, very hard, because...
How old were you in that moment of your life?
It was 2000, and I was 30, 31, maybe, more or less.
And how was... Like we talked about from moving from Bologna, which was a small town, to Milan, and then you moved to London. So how did you feel? And then when you came back, when you go back to your hometown, no, if from Milan they see you in a certain way, from London it's different, I think.
Yes, but I consider that year in London just on for my working experience. I don't think about that period of time just like an experience for doing something different. Again, I worked very, very hard. I'm used to come back home in Milan once in a month. And nothing particular changed in my life after I came back to Milan. Nothing particular. Apart from the fact that at some point I decided to move to Rome, and I spent 1 year in Rome. And again, also there, my expectations sounds a little bit different. Rome. You imagine Rome just like a place when the intensity of the work is really different from Milan.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that case, because I worked very, very hard also. So both London and Rome are similar in my life for a work point of view. And then I came back to Milan in 2009. And then I decided to change my life, to move on the other side of the barricade, from lawyer to entrepreneur. I started running a company with my brother.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what was the trigger that made you say, I want to do this? Was something that you were thinking about? Was there what was the trigger that made you say, let me try to do this in life? Because it's a really strong feeling that you have to say, I put aside for the moment my career that I've been building to start and to try to do something. That's the all-in sensation.
Well, in some way that's true. First of all, because my partner was my brother. We were, and I can tell you why I'm saying we were and not we are. We were very, very close, very, very more than brothers. My brother is a gifted person in terms of running a business. Is an outstanding person, and we start. Probably that was the trigger point to start something new, as from scratch, completely from scratch. We started with a small office, with no secretary, no personal assistants, just me and him, and then the beginning was really full of enthusiasm, full of new things for me, because going on the other side, my brother was coming from a previous experience as an entrepreneur, so he was used to start a new business. But for me, everything was new, and he was the entrepreneur and was the legal side and the person who should put everything in the legal frame. That's and the roles were
the mix of the skills you had was a perfect recipe.
That's the key. That's the key for everything. Different characters, different attitudes, different skills. That's creates the magic.
A puzzle. Well, you have to be able to get the skills of each one of you and be able to, let's say, compensate.
Exactly.
If we can say like that, what you miss, what he missed, and to be able to create the perfect puzzle, the perfect package.
I think it's the same when you have to hire people and build a team. You have to find the greatest match in terms of skills. Everyone is good at something. No one is good at everything, right? So you have to find the perfect match.
Yes. And of course, when you grow in your business, you start looking at your what you are creating, the importance in terms of work, in terms, of course, of money, and that's the difficult in managing something that I'm coming from a medium class family, so I'm not. My family is a normal family. We were not rich people, very rich people. My father was an accountant, and my mother was a housekeeper.
Housewoman.
So when you meet the big money, you have to understand how to manage.
That. Yeah.
Otherwise, you lose your balance. You use your reference points. You use, and that was what happened afterwards, not immediately.
I think this reconnects to what we were saying earlier. So the balance is always the key. So also when you have a great success, because we understand that this was the point where you had your greatest financial success, let's say. So as you said, maybe you having more money, you could have a better life, maybe buying some sport cars, whatever. And so tell us about how you lived. So some stories about that moment, that period of you being young and having had the idea together with your brother to do something, and it worked, and it generated money able to change your life in some way.
Yes, there are some situation I perfectly remember. After 1 year and a half, we decided together to buy a Ferrari. That was my brother told me, we deserve something. We deserve. We are working very hard, and that's something that it's a gift for us. We deserve it. And I remember that I was. My brother was so convinced about that, and I was a little bit, let's say, shy in some way. My girlfriend didn't appreciate, because she was, and she is now, she's my life. She's my wife. She doesn't love
The flashiness.
yes, but we decided to buy a beautiful Ferrari, a red one, and it was we were so proud of ourselves.
Yeah.
Of course, the life when you have money in your pocket is starting changing. Probably you don't realize how much is changing, but you can do whatever you want, basically. Of course, in some way, not everything, but you can go wherever you want for holiday. You can manage to buy. You can buy everything you want for clothes, for everything. But
You have more freedom.
yes, you can pay your rent without thinking about asking to your parents to borrow some money, and something different. You feel that you are
Yeah, you feel important.
yes, you
obviously.
feel your shoulder very, very capable of bearing much more than before.
But what if I were to ask you, does money create happiness? Because you see, like, a lot of people argue around this. So, yeah, money isn't everything. But from my point of view, money is a useful tool. And the most important thing that money does is that money is not the problem. Because a lot of problems people have in life is around money. Like, you have to pay the rent, you have to have medical expenses. So obviously, yeah, people say money don't create happiness, but what is your approach towards money? Like, as I said, I see it as a tool. I see it as the tool to make sure that money is not the problem. But I'm not sure if I would say that money is happiness. Money is all you need. I think that
money, money are tools. Yes, that's true. The dangerous thing I have personally experimented in my life was that if you make money, a lot of money, and you start having different goals compare with the goals that your brother in this case has, that creates some
challenges,
challenges and
frictions, maybe.
Yes, frictions, exactly. And I realized that family and business should be separate. Of course, I'm not saying that what I lived in that period of time is something that I would like to forget. I'm not saying that. Of course, also that experience with my brother, that we broke up in a very, very bad way, but also that experience, now I can say it was really helpful to make me understand what is the goal of my life, just like what I had in 1998. I mean, all the bad experience, every bad experience, really teach you something. Sometimes you can't understand what is the lesson of the bad experience, but also that experience, and believe me, break up with a very close person of your life, a brother with whom you start the startup, which became a big company, is something very, very hard to bear. But now I can say that also that experience helped me in growing and made me I think a better person. Yeah.
Okay, Alvise, so tell me a little bit about the biggest deal that you made in your life.
It was 2012, 13.
Okay.
And the business of the company I ran with my brother was focused on non-performing loans, unsecured non-performing loans. We used to purchase from bankruptcy the receivables, and then we wait for the collection of the receivables. And my brother selected a company, a big company, bankrupted in 1981.
Oh.
So in Italy, pretty normal that bankruptcies closed after
Take
years.
years,
Take a lot of time. Take a lot of time.
Yeah.
So we started purchasing the receivables, and then we realized that after the analysis of the bankruptcy estate, there was a cash in excess after paying all the creditors, and we decided to purchase also the shareholding into a bankrupted company, which is pretty strange if you think about that. But after paying all the creditors, the company could come back to our normal business situation. Exactly. Afterwards, we purchased the main shareholdings of the company, and in the end, if I remember correctly, it was we had the P&L was 10 millions.
10 millions.
Yes.
Wow.
10 million euro.
10 million euros. Yes. So very, very big deal. And again, to be honest with you, I also acknowledge the capacity of my brother. I told you, the Deus ex machina, how do you say, the person who's the master of puppets was him.
Okay.
And of course, I gave my work, I gave my contributions in the success of the deal, but that's true. The mind of everything was him. So it was a very big success, and we celebrated going to a 3-star restaurant close to Milan, which is called Al Pescatore.
Okay.
And we had a very, very unforgettable dinner. Yes.
You didn't buy a second Ferrari, no?
No, because my wife wouldn't
Wouldn't
appreciate
approve,
it. Yes, one was enough.
One was enough, yeah.
One was enough. But yes, that was something. Then we had other deals, but I remember that one because it was really, really, really successful, and it was a game changer for the company.
For the company. Was it difficult? Did you face any struggle, or it was easy?
The most difficult situation was to not the negotiation with the sellers, but the relationship with the bankruptcy receivers, because in the Italian market, my father was a bankruptcy receiver, so he taught to us a lot of things. But the bankruptcy receiver, and I think that I'm not offending anyone saying that, they feel like gods. They decide, and also in the typical Italian approach, they feel like you expect from you reverence, respect. So it's a different, especially when the receiver is an old person.
Yeah.
But that was the most challenging. Yes. I think that when you have someone you don't know, you see him. We used to see bankruptcy receivers at the beginning of our activity as someone person that you should call over the phone to
like
the
a
secretary,
client, like a client that needs to be.
That was the most challenging part. Of course, we had some unsuccessful deals because, as usual, not everything is a bed of roses. But if I can say, the 80% of our deals were successful. So
that's a great amount.
Yes,
was a nice conversion rate.
Yes, and and after that deal, I told you that we celebrated going to the restaurant, but after 6 months, I decided to buy a nice house in the Dolomites Mountains. Ortisei, which is in Val Gardena. Yes. Right? We should organize a ski trip.
Why not?
You ski, guys?
Absolutely, yeah.
I've never skied in my life.
Hey, it's the time you learn now.
Well, you can go, with the sort of a small, how do you say, rackets? Yes, it's not.
By the way, that's a beautiful place in the Dolomites, Ortisei, and it's really well connected with the ski. All the ski area of the Dolomites is really connected, and I think it's one of the best spots to go skiing. And then you are a big fan of the mountains, so I think that was the cherry, no? The cherry
that's true. And most of the people living in Milan are used to go to Courmayeur, which is very close because
very popular also.
Yes, very popular. But I used to, when I was a child, I used to go to Cortina d'Ampezzo, which was because my mother is from Valle di Cadoro, which is 25 kilometers far from Cortina. But Cortina is too far from Milan. 4 hours, it's enough. So I decided to stay in the middle because I love the Dolomites mountains. I used to go climbing there, and Courmayeur is very close. It's very easy to get there, 1 hour and a half. But the Dolomites are.
I also think that anyway. I know for sure because I did it. You can go to Cortina skiing if you are in Ortisei, and
yes,
so it's. I think it's also
is connected.
It's all connected.
Yes,
and
yes.
Really recommend that place for skiing trips, and for sure we'll let's organize a trip around that. Just skipping a bit forward, so in your story, we talked about. The success, this big deal, a lot of deals that were closed with a huge conversion rate, obviously, and but at a certain point, you stopped that activity.
Yes,
that activity came to a stop.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share to us what happened? What also how you felt in that situation?
I can say something very strong. The relationship with my brother changed dramatically because of a number of reasons. Because of the approach, the family, respective families, something changed. We experimented 2 years before we broke up in 2019, and before that. We spent 3 or 4 years, which is a long period of time, in a very, very hard relationship. We both realized that something was changing, and we both realized that the end was more and more close. And then something happened because you realize that something is changing, but the deal breaker, in my opinion, is in what happened to us. It was just a situation, a specific situation. He decided to ask me to stay outside the company because of certain reasons. At the beginning, I told him yes, and then I realized that it wasn't the good choice. So
it wasn't like an event that caused it, but it was a process. A lot of small things that happened, and an emotional thing that happened between yourself, your brother, as you said, maybe the families. So some mix of things, of events, caused an eventual division of you as business partners.
Yes, and again, that was the second worst period of time for our parents, because I can imagine what a mother and a father can live looking at their sons breaking up in a very bad way. So, but I can tell you now that something has changed. Myself and my brother didn't talk to each other for
many years, right?
For 5 years.
5 years.
Since 2019 until a few months ago, 1 month ago. So today I can tell you very happily, and I'm so happy for that we are restarting, rebirth. It's a sort of rebirth, a new birth between us, a new relationship on a different path, of different
career-wise, you're into different worlds.
And I realized that, as I told you before, family and business should stay separate.
That's something that I want to...
You don't have brothers.
I have a sister, actually. We are not in business together, but I had a business with my father. So
I met him.
And you met him.
Outstanding person.
And it's challenging, I have to say. It's not easy to have a family business, run a family business, because also the relationship, you tend... I don't know, with a brother, maybe it's a bit different, but with a parent, you bring the work also home. So you live the work life together, and you live the family life also, talking about work. Work is really important, and it's a really challenging thing, I think. People say, oh, you just work for your father, it's easy. But it's not easy, because he's not only your boss, he's also your father. Like, from the simple things. You can't say, oh, today I don't come to work, I'm sick. He will see if you're sick or no, if you live together, you understand. So from those small things, but also it can help to, in my case, it helped to create a very good relationship. And I really admire my father as an entrepreneur, as a person. He taught me a lot, and he taught me a lot also on how to treat people in the right way, how to deal with situation. At the start, I remember for some small issues, I would get panic. I didn't know how to react, how to deal with some situations. Whilst he taught me a lot of it. And so yes, I think business and family, I think of the same thing as you think. It's not a simpler way, let's put it like that. There are realities of family business that last
everything is
for,
going-
for
Yeah.
years and
Yeah, the
generations.
The problem is when things go bad. When
Yes.
things go bad, it's difficult. I mean,
Yes, the paradox for us,
Yeah.
if I can tell you, was that we broke up when the business was
going well.
very well.
So
That-
it
That's
was-
very strange.
and
actually.
that's something that's introduced the thing we
Yeah.
discussed before, the capacity to manage money, to manage in terms of sometimes money become a sort of disease, a sort of so you again we already talked about that, but the paradox was that
Was that? Yeah.
yes.
I
So-
think that turning back to money is a great tool, money is a good thing, but the love for the money is dangerous.
Yes.
Money is not bad. A lot of people say, oh, money is bad, or accuse people, rich people, oh, they think only about the money. The true thing that I learned talking with successful people as yourself is that it's not the money that is bad, but it's the love for the money that is bad, the obsession for the money that
Exactly.
is bad, because that will make a unpleasant situation in the family, in the friends, in the relationship. Whilst if you can have the capacity to keep money separated from your family life and finding that balance that we were talking before, money can be a really useful thing. So it's really curious, like in your case, that as Guido said, 90% of the time problems of this kind happen when things are going bad. You're losing money, we don't know how to do, oh, it's your fault, and oh, it's my fault.
Exactly.
But in your case, it was, as we said, an emotional thing that took time and took a lot of events. But I would not continue on this emotional road, because actually you after that you changed again.
Yes.
And so how did it change, and what are you doing right now? Obviously we know what you're doing. You work in the same company. And
Yes.
but what are you doing right now, and what are your next goals? Because we always have goals in life.
Just let me make a step back before talking about what I'm doing now. After they broke up with my brother, I took a sabbatical, a long sabbatical, because after some strong situations, you need rest, not from a physical perspective. From your brain needs some rest to think about, to understand what happened, and to digest and create new goals, and new something for which every day you get up and tell to yourself, okay, that's something that I want to do today.
So what did you do in this?
I went to very often to my house in the Dolomites. I climbed. The love for not the obsession, the love for climbing grow up very quickly, and I met people living in the mountains, in those mountains, that are incredible person. They are so simple, but they give you so many things. The feelings that they are able to pass to you, to transmit to you, are so important. The simplicity of everything. So after the something made of big cars, private jets, and whatever, myself told to my mind, okay, Alvise, that's now that take your time and think about simple things. Then I met Roberto. Roberto and I, we were close friends since Roberto is a little bit older than me, little bit. 4 years, it's not. No, it's a little. But we before we when I was in the company with my brother at the end of that experience, Roberto and I not broke up, but we started to. We were not so
close.
So close, before. Exactly. After the broke up with my brother, one of the first thing I made was to send a message on LinkedIn to Roberto, saying that Roberto, I'm here. Please, let's meet. Let's go to have a drink, to smoke a cigar. I'm smoking just a few cigarettes. Roberto is addiction to smoke. You know that.
Yes.
And we met, and we talked a lot because he had a path, a very hard and complicated path. You know that.
Yeah.
And we had some similar paths, similar experiences, similar emotions. And we discussed a lot during lunches, during dinners. And then he started to, because he's so sensitive, he understood immediately that talking about doing business together was a tricky point because of my experience with my brother. So brothers, friends, that's the hard part of the story, and the discussion between us in starting the business together. Of course, the idea was Roberto, but he asked me to being involved with him, and I took some time to think about it. Then I told him yes, but step by step, gradually, step by step.
That's a curious, let's say, for some people, choice, because I can imagine that in that period you were wealthy enough to maybe retire. Or some people will say, why did you do that? And people can say, yeah, because you are obsessed in making more money, but we covered that. It wasn't that. And I think that is something that is common with a category of people, which can be entrepreneurs, but not only entrepreneurs. It's that feeling that you have inside, that what am I going to do? Like, yes. Okay, I'm wealthy enough, but maybe tomorrow I go skiing. After tomorrow I go on the mountains. But what am I going to do after a year doing this?
Yes.
So what was the feeling? As you said, it wasn't an easy choice to take, to trust Roberto and to start to enter the game again. And bring a new challenge in your life. But you did it. Something pushed you to do it. Yes. So how would you describe this sensation that a lot of people have, a lot of successful people have? It's not about the money, it's about something else.
Yes, I think it's about, I was, when I started talking with Roberto about doing business together, I was 2019, so I was 46. And 46, 47, we started talking about business in 2020. And I told myself, okay, take your time, leave your passions. Then what next? Yeah. And also, one of the key was my son.
Oh, okay.
My son, I always thought that the example, of course, I made a good business. I got some important results in my life, in my working experience. But I was 46. My son was in 2019 was 9 years old. So the critical period of time for a kid from 9, 10 up to 15, 16. So which kind of example? Of course, I told myself, okay, when he's a little bit grow up, I can tell him, yes, it happened this and this and this.
What now? I can imagine, like, what does your dad do as a job? And you just climb the mountains.
Yes.
No, I mean, it's you don't have kids, not yet.
Not yet.
But when you will have kids, you realize a lot of things, very, very, which we are not
used to.
Yes,
You
exactly.
can't expect these feelings, these emotions.
And then my wife, to be honest with you, was so close to me during that period of time. She never pushed me to take a decision to restart work, although she could understand my
Like a necessity to
exactly
to go back in the game and maybe
yes.
As it all started with the lawyer career, to prove something also to yourself, to your son. It's not, maybe prove is not the right word, but to be someone, be part of the game and not just be...
And I told you that the key was my son. The other key was Roberto. The other key was Roberto, because Roberto told me one thing. I mean, he told me a lot of things, but he told me one thing, and it was exactly what was happened and is happening and will happen every day. He told me, Alvise, I will never, ever consider you as a number two or as a employee. You are my business partner, and we are working together to reach something really, really big, really, really exciting. And that's the other key. Of course, at the beginning, I was a little bit scared, but Roberto is a so honest person. Of course, he's a gifted person. He has some attitude which is outstanding, really. But of course, also my brother was like that. My brother has I told you, was a exceptional entrepreneur. But Roberto made me so comfortable, so relaxed in taking that kind of so difficult decisions.
He gave you full trust.
Yes,
we can say.
And I think that something that Roberto is able to pass to the people. Guido, you told me, you decided. Of course, the project was amazing. The coin, the RIV coin, the wallet, but you had a very, very secure job in Italy.
And when you have a secure job in Italy, many people find it difficult to change completely.
Exactly.
And to go to the Middle East, to come to Dubai. It's of course it's a choice that you do if you really believe in it.
Exactly.
And Roberto, I can share with you the same opinion of him, definitely.
So Alvise, you were talking about trusting Roberto. So what one of the key elements you said was, I trusted Roberto. You trusted him so much that, as we know, you are one of the biggest shareholders in RIV Capital, actually. So can you talk through to our viewers a bit of the RIV Capital company or ecosystem, as we like to call it, for the viewers that don't know our reality.
The beginning of RIV Capital is different what RIV Capital is right now. RIV Capital originally was a management company, investment management company, which is still today, but we changed. Of course, I'm saying we changed because I have the I think to be a little part of this process. We change our skin. Now RIV Capital is an environment which includes asset management, which is the original word of RIV Capital. We have a RIV, which is a reserve alternative investment fund in Luxembourg, which is managed by first-tier companies in Luxembourg, and of course under the idea of investment of Roberto. The RIV is a stunning performance every day. And the other part of the asset management is the Algo Fund, which is a proprietary desk in British Virgin Islands. Then there is the second leg of RIV Capital, which is the permanent capital. We have originally decided by Roberto some shareholdings in very, very well managed company, minority shareholdings, basically.
Yes, because private equity, permanent capital, this pillar that we are talking about, I think it's fantastic because you invest in companies which are not listed in the markets, but we choose some companies that are already paying revenues, that are well managed, and also that is a cash flow for the company, a consistent cash flow for the company.
Yes,
I think.
Well, technically speaking, we don't invest in startups. No. Technically speaking, because of the reason you just told, because we want a company with the flow of revenues, recurring flows of revenues, and also because we have inside our group the real startup company, which is the third pillar, the technology world, which is something that you guys are part. Well, we are part of. I think I can say we are part of a dream coming true. I'm really convinced about that. But the diamonds of RIV Capital is the technological world and the technological environment. RIV Tech, RIV Academy, and all the disruptive ideas that we are ready and we start to show to the world.
I think that is a key term, disruptive.
Yes.
Disruptive is a recurrent term that we use and we search to use in what we create. So from the idea of the coin, from the idea also of the academy, is a different approach, a disruptive approach into do something that is already on the market. But if you do it in a disruptive way, in a new way, it's in a better way. It's very challenging for starters, but it's satisfying in the long term. So I understand that this investment for you, this investment in RIV Capital, it's not a short-term investment. I don't know if you have also, I personally don't know if you invest in other things other than RIV Capital, which is where you also it's not about only about putting the money, but it's putting effort, because you actively work in RIV Capital,
Yes.
actually, and it's a pleasure to have you in the office when you can come. And so, what are the other investments that you're exposed in, or
Yes,
what?
yes.
Where do you like to invest in
Yes.
in different markets?
Well, of course, as the usual Italian population, I'm used to, well, I have some real estate investments in the north of Italy. Of course, the house in the Dolomites, it's not an investment, it's something more, it's a passion. But I have some houses, some apartments in the north of Italy, close to the mountains. Then real estate also in the center of Italy. I have a project in real estate, basically real estate. Basically, I decided in 2019 to invest in a startup company, fintech, which is going pretty good, but of course it's some residual investments.
We were talking also with Rob about also watches and physical assets. So, yeah, a fancy watch is a nice to have, but it's also seen as an investment sometimes. Are you part of that watch collector world? Is something that you like? Is one of your passions?
Yes, I have here one of my favorite watch, which is I'm very passionate of. Well, few watches, Rolex, but especially this one, which is something that a gift that I did to myself. Patek Philippe is one of my favorite watch, and of course, they are investments. But to be honest with you, I buy watches and not specifically for investment, but mainly because I love them. And of course, if your passion can go together with the investment, of course, that's the perfect.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yes, exactly.
And what about crypto? Do you invest in crypto?
Well, yes. I started to invest in crypto in the last months, because if you are part of the RIV Capital world, you have to, but not because otherwise you are fired.
Yeah.
Because you understand slowly, because I come from a different generation. The traditional finance was my interest, my main interest. So it's something that for us, for our generation, is you take time to understand crypto, blockchain, but once you start to understand what is the magic of that world, I think that you can't live without it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
You, Guido, you know that you are, I think, one of the best people to agree with me, probably.
Yeah.
And
crypto is a new asset class, and I think I personally also have money invested in crypto. I think every person that wants to diversify should allocate at least a little bit in crypto. Yeah.
And I think that we are doing something great because we can offer, we can let people doing and investing in crypto easily, but at the same time, we are giving them the possibility to understand with RIV, for RIV Academy, and that's something that it's a real game changer, because education is the key. Is the key for understanding and for doing any kind of business. Without education, without knowledge, you can do anything.
That's a good point. And going back to the blockchain and understanding the technology, the crypto, a lot of people, maybe also yourself, before getting to know more about crypto and blockchain, associate blockchain to crypto, blockchain to Bitcoin. Like, what is a blockchain? Crypto. But the reality is that there is a whole new world,
Exactly.
a whole new ecosystem that can be built using technology. There are thousands of use cases that can be used, and fields where you can implement blockchain technology. People have to understand that blockchain is not just something that is fancy now, that is a market trending moment, but is a real deal. And we believe firmly that blockchain will revolutionize the way that some process in the life, in the businesses are made. As internet was a revolution. Internet
Yes.
was a huge revolution. I personally was very young, maybe when the big revolution happened, but I can imagine like discovering what an email is,
Yes.
how an email works. And blockchain technology will become a part of our life. So it's important that everyone doesn't have to become a huge expert.
Yeah.
We don't need the whole world to be engineers or MIT teachers as Guido about blockchain. But everybody needs to understand what it is and how it works. Because right now, everybody knows what internet is, what it allows you to do. We are not engineers, we are not hackers, but we understand what internet is and how it works. And blockchain is the next generation. We need to understand what it is and what it allows us to do, how it works. So one of the goals of RIV Academy is to create a simple course for non-technical people. Our goal is to teach crypto and blockchain to my grandmother.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that you said a simple word, to make it simple, simplicity, and that's what we are doing. We are making simple what apparently is complicated, and that's the other element which is the basis of education. I mean, there are some complicated concepts, and you can make them simple. That's the key.
In fact, because on the market right now, I talk for myself. When I started, I was really interested to crypto. I wanted to understand how it works, so I started buying crypto randomly. I saw one day it went up, one day it went down. Today I'm making money, tomorrow I'm losing money. And something told me I need to know more about this. It wasn't enough for me. Like, okay, I can buy this and then it goes up, I sell it, I make what? Why? What is it? How do you use it? So my curiosity made me enter a path where I try to gather information anywhere. I started buying books, I started watching videos on YouTube, and what I didn't find was a course for beginners, a nice course. What I could find were courses made by universities that I couldn't afford economically, and they were really technical. They weren't made for someone like me that was just a curious guy. And then I could find some courses that were promoted by gurus that I could buy the course and become a millionaire in a couple of weeks. And I have to tell you, I bought some of those courses because the feeling you have in that moment is called FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. And that's a perfectly normal feeling to have. But we have to understand that a lot of scams and a lot of these gurus that sell you this dream leverage FOMO to an extent that even the stronger people fall into it. while if you can master this feeling, take your time, find a course, right and suited for you, you can really learn. I have to always thank Enrico, which will be one of the next guests in this podcast. He was my mentor in the blockchain world. He taught me a lot about blockchain, and it was with him that we started thinking we need to find a way to teach people about this. And so we started something. Then I joined RIV with RIV Academy. And what we are building right now is, I think, a really disruptive way of teaching. Yeah. And we don't stop to blockchain technology and crypto. As you guys know, we are launching also traditional finance, bringing incredible skilled professors on board to be able to teach these complex, these difficult topics to people in an easy, simple way, because people need to be aware of what is going on. You can't miss this opportunity.
Yes. And I think that also you, Guido, that has a so specific skills you teach in MIT.
I personally love to teach. I really love to teach.
I think that you can agree with Davide.
I can agree with Davide 100%. I mean, I think when you personally,
we are not losing. You are not replacing the professor knowledge. I mean, you are a professor in some way.
I actually started work as a consultant, but I've been involved in teaching in many different ways. One of the ways is this executive course for MIT. I personally love to teach because even the teacher, when he teaches, he learns. That can seem a paradox, but it gives you so much in terms of knowledge and also in terms of humanity, right? And I agree with you, I agree with Davide, that education is essential, especially with something like crypto. When there is a new technology, everyone sells itself as the guru. Everyone say, okay, follow my course and you will make money, right?
And sorry if I interject. It's really interesting to me, staying between you and in different ways. You and you, Guido, and you, Davide, have the same approach, the same thinking, the same principle about teaching. I know you very well, or now we met Guido 1 year ago, Davide recently, but you both have the approach aimed at giving to people the knowledge in simple way. That's I think it's the same. You are different, but you give that that kind of knowledge exactly in the same way.
I think this is the idea underlying the academy.
Exactly.
Like to teach in a very simple way, such that everyone can understand.
Like in my past, I when I was a kid, I never liked to go to school, and one of the reasons was that maybe my teachers didn't transmit me the passion. So I was bored. It was just reading a book and repeating the same things, and I couldn't see the use of it in real life. So if I think back when I was in high school, I never would thought to be at the head of RIV Academy, creating courses and teaching to people. But the thing is that I want people to understand and transmit our passion for this, because everything is driven by passion. That what we do in RIV Technologies, we have developers that are really passionate for coding, for creating something brilliant like RIV Wallet. We have maybe my passion in bringing a simple way to learn something that could be extremely difficult to understand. We have the passion of Guido that brings his skills that he learned, and passion is what is the fuel, I think, of RIV Technologies. and that creates a beautiful environment to live in, and everybody is really, really driven by passion.
Yeah.
And RIV Wallet popped out of this conversation, and RIV Wallet, I think, is in the same flow of the academy. It's if we have to think about making crypto simple, RIV Wallet helps, supports our academy students, because not only they get high quality education in a non-boring and easy to digest way, but they also get the first tool, simple tool to use crypto, where apparently it's really simple and it's simple to use, but it allows you to step into a world that you never thought about. So
Yes.
I don't know, also from your perspective, obviously me and Guido are crypto fanatics. We love reading about crypto, looking at new projects, also using different wallets, exchanges, and understand what is going on behind it. But I see from your perspective, someone that learned about crypto also thanks to the knowledge we were able to pass, and to with RIV Technologies, with RIV Academy, understood the real potential behind crypto. Something that maybe if you didn't start this journey, you would never been interested into.
Yes, that's true. And my personal goal is to allow my mother, and I'm pretty sure that I will reach that goal, to have the wallet in front of her and understand how to buy a crypto and to sell a crypto. And I'm pretty sure that we'll reach that goal.
I'm sure as well,
I
because
bet it.
I'm sure as well, and it's also one of my goals. You know, so my mother always asks me, "Can I give you the money, invest in crypto?" I never took money of other people to invest in crypto. As I said in another episode of the podcast, if you ask me what crypto should I buy, the answer is simple: it's Dior. Do your own research. You can't give advice like that.
Yes.
You need to understand what you're doing. I can tell you, buy this, buy that.
Yes.
But then what if you lose your money? Our friendship will... are you going to still come out to dinner with me if you lost $10,000? So being able to do your own research is one of the skills that makes the difference in just someone that is starting their process to an investor in crypto. Because then it's... you get passionate about it. It's a whole new ecosystem, a whole new world. It's Web3. It's a big deal, actually. So jumping a little forward, we usually try to understand what are the tips from someone successful like yourself that you would like to give to a younger generation, a younger aspiring successful people, entrepreneurs that are our viewers that are watching us. What is, I think, one of the most important lessons that you would like to give to our viewers about this?
Well, few words: passion, knowledge, dedication, and vision. Being able to have a project, the most crazy project you can have. But if you have passion, if you have knowledge, because knowledge is the base, as I told you, and if you have dedication, I think anything is reachable. That's my personal advice. Simple things. Again, simplicity is the key. There's no theorem complicated to pass to our viewers. But few things are the mixed together are the key to success, I think.
Fantastic.
That's great. Yeah.
And what if I were to ask you, a book that you would recommend?
There is one of my first book I read when I was, fortunately, very young, a lot of years ago. Was it's called Il deserto dei Tartari of Dino Buzzati, and I remember that I read it in 2 days. I'm not a addicted reader because I spend most of my spare time in playing piano. You know, it's not an obsession.
You also do concerts, right?
Yes, yes. Every year I play with an orchestra, and that book didn't change my life, but I so eager to every. I remember that I was in Thailand during the Christmas holidays with my parents. I was 9 years old or 10 years old, and I read it in 3 or 4 days. Every time I can open the book, I could read it, and that one is something that I could suggest. Of course, there is another book which is more focused on financials, which is a must read, which is Barbarians at the Gate, which is wrote by 2 journalists of Wall Street Journal. I don't remember the name of both of them, but it's the talk about the takeover of a 80s company, that are RJR Nabisco by, and it's really, really interesting because gives you a picture of what finance was in that period of time, and the 70s, late beginning of 80s, and with investment banks very aggressive, and you realize how much the world is changed compared to that period of time. That's something that I would.
Also, I am really passionate about that. Those years in the finance, like when I started, I wasn't really into books. I discovered I like reading later on, but I started. I remember in high school watching at Wall Street, 1987. I watched that film, I think 100 times. I really, the vibes that you get from that film. Then there is Boiler Room, or even the second Wall Street that they made in 2006.
Yes.
Those are, you see how the financial world, those crazy stock exchanges floor, and the aggressivity of the calls they made.
Yes.
So I think that for aspiring entrepreneurs, these books, or maybe also those films that I watched, at least in myself, created really a hungry sensation. Like, I want to be the next Gordon Gekko.
Exactly.
Right?
Everyone wanted once in a life to be a Gordon Gekko.
That's the actual dream of finance guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. So I think today was really, really interesting to learn more about your story. Also for us, that we know you as our vice chairman and friend, but also for the viewers that maybe didn't know you, to know about your story. And we covered the success, we covered some faults, some bad moments, some good moments, but I think that what we can learn is that, as you said, if you have the passion and the commitment and the dedication, never give up. It will. You must keep on going in life, even if you have some sad situation that you have to solve. So, really, thank you for being with us, Alvise, today. And
thank you, Alvise,
for having me here.
And for sure, we will invite you back in this podcast, maybe with some other
guests. Yeah.
Great pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.